Start now. Distance now.
Okay.
한순간에.
Hi, welcome back. Lost you for a moment there. We're back here in Jongdo, Seoul. We're riding past, if you look to the left here, we're riding past the gate. This is the corner of the original palace wall, like a turret on the corner, and it's become an island in an intersection right now. But originally it would have been connected to the palace.
지금 고프로 라이브 하고 있는데 전화 한번 끊고.
Alright, Kev. We're just near the Twin Towers at the moment. Can you come down with the battery, or? Okay, we'll see out the front then. We're looking at some of the most expensive real estate in Seoul at the moment. Here in downtown Jongno, and what we're leaving behind us is that gate, the turret, the corner of the city wall over there that's not connected to the palace wall anymore. Sorry, not the city wall, the palace wall. It's not connected anymore due to this intersection, as well as the Gwanghwamun gate there. So we're seeing quite a bit of traffic around at the moment, since it's about 7 o'clock in the evening and people have finished work and they're going home. We're seeing people walking, but as I mentioned, not as much as you'd normally expect at this time of day, because due to the Chuseok holiday period which we're in at the moment. So some people are still on their breaks, and others have gone back to work. It's actually only a 2-day holiday. What is it? 추석 빨간일 2일 아니면 3일?
every year different.
아니 빨간, like official한 빨간일, 빨간 날. 3, I'm not entirely sure myself, but it's either 2 or 3 days which are the official holidays that you have to take off by law or offer by law, but then there's people will extend out their holidays over a longer period, so they'll take the whole week off and use their optional holiday days instead. Here we are back at the start. Let me give you a quick walk around here again. We're back here at the Twin Towers. We just came back to pick up a battery. But let's take a closer look at those remains, because I think it's really cool that when these remains are found, they're not just forgotten and buried. They're actually put on display, and we'll see that later on in our tour today when we go to the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, where Zaha Hadid's amazing Dongdaemun Design Plaza building was built in 2014. It's well renowned, but she was quite frustrated, I believe, that the building was the design had to be changed quite substantially from what was originally planned, because of remains found beneath the ground just like this. So there too, the building has been built around the archaeology that was discovered. Okay. All right, mate. See you soon.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's keep moving. There we go, a bit of power. Look at that. You feel the difference? So you too can take a ride on our electric pedicab. We cover lots of different regions of the city, but certainly the most popular area is this region that we're in at the moment, Jongno, because it has all the history and it has a lot of the modern features as well that you'll find in other areas of the city. But it has all the Joseon Dynasty history here, right at the heart of the capital. And we're going to whiz across through this rush hour traffic to a neighborhood called Ikseongdong. Ikseongdong is famous for its Hanok Village, which is Hanok being the traditional architecture of the Joseon Dynasty of Korea, I guess, just in general. It's a wooden structure made of pine that has a cavity below it that can be heated in the winter and has a cooling effect in the summer. So below the floor there's this cavity. The heating works by blowing, not blowing, but by building a fire on one end of the property. The warm air and smoke gets drawn under the property to the chimney at the other side, thus heating the floor. Very ingenious system. Now these days, those types of housing, that type of traditional housing is not really the kind of house that most Koreans want to live in. Apartments much more sought after. And so as a result, neighborhoods like that can get run down. This neighborhood, unlike the Bukchon Hanok Village, which we visited in the morning e-bike tour, which is still a residential neighborhood and very well maintained, this neighborhood we're going to, Ikseongdong, became fell into disrepair. And so thanks to a redevelopment scheme, it's now being converted to be residential properties and is a very hip hangout spot for young Koreans and old Koreans. And is somewhat like a hidden gem, like not a lot of tourists know about it. It was just up and coming just before the pandemic, and then the pandemic has kind of stopped tourism in Korea, from international tourism I should say. So you're going to see something that a lot of foreign tourists haven't seen. It's fairly new. What we're going to do is we're going to take this main road. This is Jongro. It's the main road through the district. Jong means bell and Ro means street, so this is translated to Bell Street. And it's kind of the center of commerce. It's the main road. Apart from like Sejong Road, which we went down earlier, going to the palace, is a very symbolic and grand street. But this street is where all the business and commerce and finance is. And how it always has been traditionally, it was a strong market street from the foundations of the city. I keep referring to the foundations of the city. I'm sure there was something here before, but the Joseon Dynasty was established in 1395, I believe, and since then, this has been the capital of Korea. So back then it would have been called Hanyang, and it would have been limited to the area within the city walls, the center of which would be that building over there, which is Boshingak, right in the slap bang in the center of the old ancient city of Hanyang. And inside of there is a bell that was rung to communicate with citizens what time it was, when there was curfew, when the gates were opening and closing. So yeah, as a result, this street gets its name, Bell Street. See the bell up there? We're riding down this awesome bike lane on the main road through the district. It's great to have such awesome facility. If we were to take this bike lane, continue down it, we would ultimately end up in Busan, right at the southern tip of the peninsula, the city over 600 kilometers away. This bike lane, we can ride bike lane from here all the way to there. Isn't that amazing? We're also running parallel to what we normally ride on is the river road, which is just one block over. There's a river that runs parallel to the street called Cheonggyecheon, and that river is has a really interesting history. It used to be, well, it was the reason why the city was, one of the reasons why the city was built here as the main waterway, or the main water source. But in modern history, it's been somewhat. There was a period where it was forgotten and covered over. Oh, look at all the people eating in the street there. There's a period where it was covered over, and then in like the 50s, 60s, and then as Korea developed and realized that stuff like that is important. It was then uncovered under when the mayor of Seoul was Lee Myung-pak, the same guy who built the museum I was referring to later, but he did that when he was president. When he was mayor of Seoul, he uncovered Cheonggyecheon River, and he built a lot of these bike lanes too. You'll notice that the buses travel in the center of the road here in Seoul. That's another development that was made during his presidency and mayorship, and it really did improve it wasn't a very popular decision at the time, but I feel like it's really improved the traffic flow and the ease of use of the bus system here in Korea. Here in Seoul, I should say. It also freed up the side of the road so we could make those awesome bike lanes we were riding on. So we're just nipping through this alley here. Oh, sorry, Taeyong.
I'm okay.
I'm a reckless driver.
I know.
Just nipping through this little alley here to avoid the main streets. There's always an interesting alley in Seoul, and I would say take it. If you can, take it, because the big streets they have a lot of cars, they're very congested, and they're more or less all the same most of the time. Big modern buildings and buses, etc. But these back alleys, they really give you the atmosphere of the neighborhoods, each neighborhood's special points. Like if a neighborhood is famous for a particular food, you'll find that food in the back alleys, not necessarily on the main road, and they're much more pleasant to ride on. Hey, and look at this.
Wow.
So this is the Jongro Samgan area, and it's where people will hang out after work and get some street food, drink a bottle of soju or makgeolli, and enjoy chicken or some other.
Nogari.
Well, nogari is here too. Nogari is the dried fish, or takdongjip,
Yeah, right.
which is chicken butt.
Yeah.
Yep. Enjoy some chicken butt. You could also Also eats that's a raw fish there and shellfish. Shellfish, yeah. That guy's got some octopus. Yeah. But what we came to see was down the back, in the back alley, as I said. In the back alleys is where you find the secret gems. And this is a neighborhood called Ikseongdong that I was referring to. But let's have a quick walk around. Let's park up over here.
Beautiful light view, more than give some money.
Sorry, what was that?
Beautiful night view for the morning view.
Oh yeah, yeah. The morning was it's a bit hazy, wasn't it? It's really, the sky's nice and clear right now, and if we walk down this alley, you'll see there's lots of people around. These are not tourists; these are locals, and they've come out to hang out, go on a date after work, try on a costume, take some pictures. Pretty cool. You get to try on some costumes and pay for a photo shoot. There's restaurants and bars and cafes and ice cream, and it's all as you'd expect in any kind of popular hangout neighborhood. But what's unique about this neighborhood is if you look closely, you'll notice it's all done in traditional housing called the Hanok. And you look inside, you can see the rooftop is the traditional Korean Hanok rooftop. The interior looks very modern. The structure of the building is very old. When I say very old, I'm talking like 1930s, 1920s, 30s. That's when this neighborhood was redeveloped. That was a period during Japanese occupation. Look in there. And a lot of Koreans were poor or out of favor with the ruling Japanese overlords, shall we say. And so a very famous developer, architect, designed and redeveloped these areas which would have originally had very large grand houses, and divided up that land into smaller plots so that these buildings could be built, and Koreans could afford to live here in the capital in these more affordable and smaller size homes. Looks like this shop sells cosmetics and clothing. Again, as you can see, the building is a Hanok property. So originally this would have been divided into smaller rooms, and of course they've opened it all out to allow for this shop. Oh, this alley looks pretty quiet. Let's go down here. So I feel like, it would already be quite a busy period, busy time of day after, people finish work and they're on their way home, or instead of going directly home, they may come here to hang out for a bit. So this time of day, it would already be kind of busy, but the traffic that would have been spread out a little bit more until late at night now all comes earlier and has to leave. You have to leave these restaurants and bars by 10 o'clock. 10 p.m. is the cutoff for restaurants and bars due to the COVID-19 situation. And also you'll notice that everyone is in twos or threes. You can't gather more than 4 people at one time in one place as a private group. So at one table, you wouldn't be able to have more than 4 people. Four people. Hi guys. Welcome to the evening e-bike tour. My name's Vincent. I'm joined here with Taeyong, our cameraman, and we're walking around the beautiful region of the beautiful neighborhoods of Ikseongdong, which is in Seoul, South Korea. And it's a really nice day. It's nice and cool. It's about 24 degrees centigrade, so we're all comfortable, perfect for riding. Right, well guys, let's hop back onto the electric pedicab, and we're gonna go for a ride over to a very famous market called Gwangjang Market, which you know, David Bourdain, I think, Gordon Ramsay, certainly, Barack Obama have all visited Gwangjang Shijang, and multiple international tourists love to go there. Now there's less people, but it's still running strong. It's a local market, and so let's go see what's happening there during this evening. Hopefully we'll pick up some nice food to share with you guys. Don't know about you, but I'm hungry. 배고파? No? Oh, Taeyong's okay. I'll take his part. Okay, here we go. So here we are. This is the nearest station here is Jongno Samga subway station. It's where three lines meet. The line number 1, line number 3, and line number 5. So perfect location to where people can gather and meet and then hang out, as you can see here in the streets. Some chicken over there. Oh, how can you not be hungry after seeing all this? That looks like hi. There's like scallops. Yeah.
I like it.
Let's see, soju. We've got those green bottles that you see on the table there are soju. Got some traffic here. Quick detour. So this is what you'd call a pojang matcha, which is just like a tent in the street originally. These days they're a little bit more sophisticated. You got these carts with gas burners in them, and they'll be selling all kinds of delicious food from there, heating it up, cooking it on the spot. And let's whiz by. We're heading over now to a large open space. You see that wall over there? It looks a lot like the palace wall that we saw earlier. But it's not a palace per se. It's a place called Jongmyo, which is more like a shrine or a place of memorial for deceased kings and their remains. It's not a tomb. It's not a burial site, but their remains are there, and the shrine is there to be remembered. As in, when I say remains, I mean like their belongings, their clothing, and certain things, certain items. But their physical body would have been buried at a royal tomb elsewhere, generally outside of the city walls. So thanks to this royal shrine here in Jongmyo, we are privileged to have this wonderful open space here, this park. It's a treat to get a big open space like this in Seoul, because it's quite a densely packed city. It's wonderful to get this space and really get a chance to stand back and look at the view, look at the lights back at the city over there. And then ahead of us, we see this awesome building called Seonsanga. Seonsanga has also become quite a trendy hangout spot. And it's a commercial space, mainly selling originally electronics and that kind of thing. However, these days the land use has slightly changed, and you'll find some really awesome coffee shops up there and like rather hipster-like trendy spots to hang out on. So we're back now on the main roads, Jongdo, Bell Street, and we're heading the same direction we were heading earlier, away from the financial district behind us and down towards the East Gate, Dongdaemun. You see again the buses. Oh, let's just keep going straight down. You see again the buses run in the middle of the road here. This is something that, well, I'm from England, and north of England we don't really see this in England. All the buses ride on the side of the road, but it makes so much sense. It allows this beautiful bike lane that we're in to be here and to be safe, and the buses to kind of flow freely, unobstructed through all the traffic. But what you can't see is behind these buildings, these shops to our side here, is a market, and that market is Gwangjang Market. That's where we're heading to next. We're just going to nip into the side entrance over here, and hopefully get something to eat. Okay, here it is, Gwangjang Shijang. Let's find a spot to park. 잠시만요. Okay. There we go. So, welcome to Gwangjang Market. Let's go in and have a look. I'm going to take my helmet off. I'll leave it on. See, everyone's lining up for some Korean-style donuts. Let's have a glance at that. I don't know why they're lining on this side. They should be here. This is the best spot. You see the dough over there, which is then twisted into this spiral and dipped in sugar and cinnamon before being served. And over here, this is much better. This is Chapstar hodok. 안녕하세요. And this is my favorite snack in the market. It's like it's a sweet pancake. You have an option of the rice. It's made of rice, rice flour, sticky rice. So you have an option of the rice with honey in the center, and these green ones are mixed with like a weed called soup, which soup. It's a green vegetable, and you can also go for the option of having vegetable in the center. We are definitely coming back for some of this in a little bit. 갔다 올게요.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were filming.
No worries. This is the best. Honestly, this is the best. This is my favorite food in this whole market. This lady is awesome.
Which one do you prefer?
So my favorite, I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. I would go for the first one, the Chapstar dog. It's the basic one. The one with the green in has got like a vegetable mixed in, which adds like it kind of tones down the sweetness a little bit.
I promise. May I request that I'm not in your...
Oh yeah, sure. Oh, it's actually live, but your face is not in it.
Okay.
Your face is not in it.
Thank you.
So yeah, I would recommend the first one. That'd be my choice.
Thank you.
No worries. Enjoy. Well, his face wasn't in it when I looked. Oops. Sometimes forget. So this market, as you can see, there's some stores are closed, and not all of these stores are food based. Some of them sell clothing or shoes, so those at this time will probably be closed. Whereas the ones that are selling food, this is prime time. And it extends. This is a junction here. It extends in all directions. If you go down that way, you're looking, you know what, let's do it. Let's go. If you come down this way, you're looking at stores more like this, with the pig's feet and the kimbaps, miniature kimbaps, and the red tteokbokki there. You can see the chicken feet and those noodles. That's the pig feet. Those noodles in the background, those are delicious. That's called chapter, and it's definitely a favorite. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. 네, 들어오세요. So this is also a fantastic shop. We're definitely gonna have to stop here at another time. But can we take a zoom in of the chicken feet? 또 올게요. 네. 안녕히 계세요. But what I really want to try today, which is what I had last time actually, but you know, it's a favorite, is what the market is most famous for, which is bindaedeok. 안녕하세요. Oh, they got no oil. 알겠습니다. 거기서도 포장돼요? 포장돼요? 저기서? Okay. Let's keep going.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
Now 5 people now.
5 people. So we're just about to buy some bindaedeok, but she just cleaned up the oil. So she's sent us to recommended another spot that's just down the way here. Oh, look at all the chun. What's this one called?
I don't know.
Gogi teng? No.
No. 동그랑땡.
Dongdaemun. There you go. Dongdaemun. It's got meat inside it.
Meat and vegetable
It's
mix.
a vegetable mixed, yeah. And then that one's a fish, right?
Yeah.
There's a zucchini, and it's all battered. This is lovely. This is chili, but they take out the seeds in the center and put in some meat, like some pork. And this is a sesame seed leaf. This is the bindaedeok I was referring to. And sometimes it's mixed with meat, like this one over here becomes called a gogi wangja. It's fried in this oil, which they were missing down there.
여기 되나 본데?
And here's one of my favorites, yukhae. Do you like yukhae?
Maybe because so like it's terrible a little bit.
A terrible little bit. Well, yeah, it is raw. It's raw beef. It's called beef tartare in English. But here in Korea, it's served in a slightly different way, which I love. I think it's lovely. And this is where we'll try our bindaedeok. So let's see. 안녕하세요. bindaedeok 하나랑 고기 왕자 하나 주시겠어요?
아니 한국말 잘해요.
우리 보통 맨날 거기 중간에 거기 싸거리 있는데 거기 갔는데
진짜 잘한다.
오늘 기름 없대요.
어디서 왔어요?
잉글랜드요.
아니,
영국.
잉글랜드, 예, 영국에서 왔어요. 예. 여기서 주문하는 게 맞아요? 네. 저기서? 오케이. 거기서 갈게요. So I just ordered one bindaedeok and one gogi wangja. Let's see what happens. 근데
Congratulations.
6 way. Hi guys. I just
So where is your wallet?
didn't I just have it?
Have it?
I guess I must.
1 second. 1 second.
포장으로 죄송해요. 줄인가 봐요. 네.
어떻게 드릴까요?
고기 왕자 하나랑 bindaedeok 하나 주시겠어요?
네.
네.
driver wallet?
No, 태영.
So, my wallet in the pet cab.
Okay,
Okay.
아파.
So wait my circle.
Sure, sure.
별가락 드려요, 별가락.
저요?
예, 이거.
아, 네. 주세요.
예,
아.
6,000원이죠.
저 지갑 거기 차에 있어서
네.
갖다 오는 거예요.
아, 가져오는
잠깐
거예요? 아.
기다려 주시겠어요?
예. 이때도 두 개하고 두 개하고. 언제 먹어요? 한 20분 있어.
While I'm waiting for my wallet, let's take a little stroll. 갔다 올게요. 잠시만요. Stroll back.
어디로 들어가면 돼요?
As you can see, plenty of food options to enjoy. And here you can get some rice cakes to take away. This is used to make tteokbokki over here. Wow, look at that. Fish on a stick. That looks awesome. I guess they're sardines. As you can see, some of the market is closed, as I mentioned earlier. These will be parts of the market that sell clothing and shoes, etc. Actually, on the second floor, this shutter here, you can see with this rather awesome old poster, faded old poster, you can see that there are people wearing the traditional hanbok, Korean traditional clothing called hanbok. And if you were to come in the daytime, this gate would open leading up to the second floor of the building, where you'd find an area that was dedicated to selling those hanbok outfits at top quality, like really good quality clothing at the most reasonable prices in the city. You can have your own custom hanbok made for about $200 to $300, and it'll only take 2 or 3 days to make. Yum, yum, yum.
Tonight, I kill it for you.
All right. This Taeyong, he's got me today. 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
네, 잘 먹을게요. Right, all we need now is some soju and makgeolli, and we're fine. Soju and makgeolli are two traditional and popular alcoholic beverages here in Seoul. Should we get a chapsal dog as well?
You want it?
Yeah, let's get chapsal hodok.
I'm okay because I'm full now.
그럼 하나 같이 먹자.
Okay.
네.
누가 사주라고?
찹쌀 호떡 하나 주시겠어요? 네.
종이컵에 줄까요?
네. 조금 식은 걸로 주세요. 조금 식은 게 좋아요. 뜨거우니까.
하나는 서비스로 줄게요.
아니,
아유.
하나만 있으면 돼. 괜찮아요. 하나만 주세요. 하나만. 괜찮아요. 아,
Good
그래요.
night. Fantastic. And we get another one. 아이고, 감사합니다.
One now.
One plus one. 잘 먹을게요.
한국어를 엄청 잘하네.
오늘 보통보다 사람 좀 있네요?
아, 감사합니다.
손님? 날씨 좋아서 그래요? Okay, happy times. 감사합니다. Oh, it was quite busy today in the, a little busier than I was expecting actually. But still not as busy as it normally is. And we got a feast for 1,500 won. We got the two, come around this side. 1,500 won, we got the two Chapstar hot dogs, which is going to be very sweet, so I think we should save this for dessert. And how much was the bindae-dok?
6,000. So total 6,000. And then
Okay, so for a total of 6,000 won, there we go. We have this awesome feast of bindae-dok. Now, I didn't tell you what bindae-dok is, so let me let you know. Bindae-dok is made with mung bean, so it's all ground up into a paste, and then mixed with onions and spring. What else is in there? There's some onions, and this is bean sprout. This is a bean sprout. So onions and bean sprout mixed together, and then it's all deep fried, and that is delicious. So we'll be giving that a try. And then sometimes the mung bean and mix is then meat is added to it, and this darker one here is it's like basically the same thing but with meat in it. So I'm going to try this one first and see how it goes. Yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah, that's really good. Are you sure you don't want some?
No.
Oh, that is good.
Here.
More for me. All right. Let's see what other goodies we've got in there. Got some pickled. It's like vinegar and soy sauce. And then it's got some onions in there. These are raw, fresh onions. So let's open this up. There you go. And this just kind of cuts the grease. It's very vinegary, very sharp, and kind of cuts the grease and cleans the palate. It's got that lovely sweet onion flavor to it as well. Let's try this one. I don't know how to describe this. It's kind of like it's like a fresh taste. The bean tastes very fresh, very, I feel I'm definitely eating vegetables here. You know, it has that kind of fresh salady vegetableness to it. But it's deep fried, giving it a crispy texture on the outside and soft in the center. Oh, it's delicious. And the spring onion there, occasionally sorry, not spring onion, the bean sprouts. Occasionally you'll bite into a bean sprout and it's just like a pop of flavor. Oh, good, really good. Let's have some more of that onion. Now, I know you didn't come here to watch me eat, unfortunately. So I'm going to pack this up and we'll finish it up later on. But before we go, I'll just get my little sugar fix, and I'll put this in the trash. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, unfortunately I can't take the onion, it's just going to spill everywhere, but let's give this a try. Alright. Oh, check that out. So I haven't got to... Well, this is sticky rice, and it's made into this pancake shape, and then it's deep fried, and it's covered in like a honey on the outside, I just got the basic plain one, but you can also get ones with vegetable inside or various different fillings. This is my favorite. Oh, so good. If you look at it now, you can see I've reached this little pocket here. And inside there, inside the pocket is more honey and sesame seeds. Sometimes it's got like sunflower seeds in there as well. Nice little surprise. Okay, let's get going. I'll take you down to the East Gate. The East Gate of the city. It's a region called Dongdaemun Market. And it's basically a 24-hour shopping area where K-pop gets dressed, let's call it. It's all Korean fashion, and it's also the location, the site of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, which is a world-renowned, very famous architectural sensation built by Zaha Hadid in 2014. Maybe one of their most famous buildings. Zaha Hadid being the British architect, British-Iraqi architect. Yeah, let's go check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, pop this in here.
Okay.
Hey, we're actually gonna take a little detour onto the Cheonggyecheon River, which is a slightly quieter road to be on. Bye bye, Gwangjang Market.
Bye bye.
So what's it like? How's it riding in the back on the pedicab? You're not too tired? You okay?
I'm okay.
You're okay? Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you're comfortable and not tired. Yeah. Don't worry about me. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
It's lovely riding down this valley because it's so flat. Very easy riding. And of course with the electric function, it's really no effort at all. What we offer at We Ride Bicycle Tours is you can ride the pedicab with us in this fashion, or you can have your own electric bike. We have a fleet of electric bikes that you can choose from, and we also have Brompton bikes as well. If you want to kind of get some exercise, stretch your legs, we have Brompton bikes too. And all of those are suitable to ride together in this area because there's no real big hills heading down the Cheonggyecheon River, which is right in front of me right now. In fact, let's sneak across and have a quick look. There you go. So down there, you can see the Cheonggyecheon River down below us, and you see people walking down there, enjoying the nature. There is quite a lot of nature down there. You'll see fish and herons, cranes in the water, and in the distance we can see where we came from, downtown Jongno. But we're going to make a turn away from that to the east and head down this way, and you can see immediately. Let's get on the bike lane. You can see immediately here that we're in beginning of Dongdaemun with all the flashing neon lights. This is the Pyeonghwa Fashion Shijang. Pyeonghwa Shijang. Pyeonghwa Fashion Market. And if you look over to my left, you see the river down there below us. Cheonggyecheon River. So I'm on this raised bike lane here, off the level of the traffic, which is awesome. They just recently did that this year, raised the bike lane up so the traffic can't come into it. It's a bit hairy on a pedicab. Let's get back on the road. So the whole world comes to Dongdaemun Market to buy Korean fashion, K fashion. In fact, I was in London on Liverpool Street, and I went into a shop that was run by a Korean chap, and he had K fashion written on the outside of his store, so I knew that there'd be something Korean in there. And when I went in, I saw a lot of the items, a lot of the clothing that I'm familiar with here in Korea, which is cool to see in London. He said it's very popular, and I asked him where did he get it from, and his response was Dongdaemun Market. He'd come back to here, find suppliers in this neighborhood, and then either order them to the UK or just take them back himself. And he's not the only one. The neighborhood was bustling with people carrying these. This is not trash on the ground here. Those are bags full of clothing, wholesale items that are going to be delivered to different parts of the city, Seoul, and sold at probably 2-3 times the price in other neighborhoods. Or people come all the way from China or abroad to Japan, the Philippines, and they come to this neighborhood to find Korean fashion items and take them back to their countries. Because as you know, Korean pop culture is very, very popular around the world, very, very famous right now. That includes K-pop music and K-pop fashion. And you'll find all of that in this neighborhood. Not all of these markets that we're seeing around here are wholesale only. There's a couple of markets around the corner that you'll see shortly, and they're just like regular malls where you can just buy one item, but there's no haggling or anything in there. If you go into these markets, you're expected to buy more than one item, and you can kind of negotiate on the price a little bit. Whilst we're waiting here, if we glance over, let's squeeze forward. If you glance over, you can see the traditional historic gate. The reason this is called the East Gate Market is because it's at the east gate of the city. This is the city wall, an entrance through the city wall called Hungin-jimun. To my knowledge, it's the only one with four characters, Hungin-jimun. All the other ones, I believe, have 3 in their name. Eastgate is kind of unique in that it still retains the lobby area. All gates had a lobby on the outside of them, and if you look closely at that gate, you can see the wall kind of curls around the entrance to the gate, creating like a lobby where you'd have to wait to be processed before entering the gate. All the other gates in the city don't have that in Seoul. They would have originally, but they don't anymore. And off to my right, you see the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. But there's a bus in the way right now, so we're going to navigate that, come around this way.
뭐라고 하나요? 라고 물어보십니다.
Sorry, what?
남대문은 뭐라고 부르나요?
Namdaemun is the name of the gate is Sundaemun. Sundaemun is the official name for Namdaemun. Namdaemun is the south gate of the city. Just like here, Dongdaemun, Dong means east, Dongdaemun is the east gate of the city. But they all have official names, so that the official name of Dongdaemun is Hungin-jimun, and the official name of Namdaemun is Sildaemun. And what these two gates have in common is that there's a big market right near the gate. For obvious reasons, of course, with all the people coming in to the city at that point, it's a great place to have a market. So Namdaemun Market is also very famous, just like Dongdaemun Market, but very different in what it sells. This
wow. Oh, Michi, you are crazy. Can you say you're crazy?
All right. I'm a terror, pedicab terror in Seoul. I'm just excited. I want to get you guys to this viewpoint here, looking over. Let's squeeze in here. Looking over the whole neighborhood. Get out of this traffic and around this corner. And here we are entering the Dongdaemun Design Plaza area. And it's peaceful and there's space and I can breathe and it's a wonderful autumn day. And look at that view. So here we are at the Dongdaemun Design Plaza in Seoul, and we're looking out around at the Dongdaemun Market. There are all these tall buildings around us which house shops and malls selling clothing 24 hours. Some of them are day markets, some of them are night, but the neighborhood as a whole is open 24 hours and it's busy. And then we find this sweet spot, this piece of idyllic quiet and space, and this is the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, designed by Zaha Hadid. Now we're not at the main part of the building. We'll go around to that in a moment. That's just over there. The main part of the building is covered in silver tiles, and which are lit from like backlit. I think there's 55,000 tiles that make up the surface of that building. It's got a rooftop garden. It's like got grass on the rooftop. It's a very, very futuristic looking building. And just like at the beginning of the tour at the Twin Towers, as they were building in this very historic area, they found historical remains, archaeology below, and they had to change the design of the building. So if you look just down the way here, you can see those Joseon Dynasty remains that were uncovered during the construction of this site. And they haven't just been covered up and ignored, they've been put on display for future generations to enjoy whilst enjoying this awesome space. The building is used as a museum, design museum. It's also got a mall underground. It's an entrance to the subway station here, and it's got this wonderful park. Let's have a quick walk around. Follow me. You can see in the distance, just in the near distance here, what the site used to be used for. No, let's go up the stairs, why not? So this site, before the Dongdaemun Design Plaza was built here, was a baseball stadium, and those lights there are what remains in memory of the previous structure that was here, the baseball stadium. That's a mall there. That's Duta over there, very famous shopping mall. That's not a wholesale mall. You go in there and you can buy individual items. And this says, "Don't let your dog poo here."
Yeah.
Apparently there's CCTV. That's
Where is the CCTV?
yeah, it's somewhere around. It's dog poo sensitive. All right, guys, let's take a spin around the front of the building here. Check out the front of the Dongdaemun Design Plaza, and then we'll head back to towards down Chugachon River. So we've got maybe another 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got another 20 minutes left on the tour, the evening e-bike tour here in Seoul. Today is the 24th of September, and we've just come out of the Chuseok Festival here in South Korea, and we're enjoying the evening e-bike tour with re-ride around the Dongdaemun Design Plaza here at Dongdaemun Market, also known as the DDP. So Zaha has passed away now. She's very famous around the world, and this is one of her most famous constructions, famous designs. Let's take the road. As you can see, there are tiles on the surface of this building all the way around. And those tiles are all individually unique. No two tiles are the same because of the shape of this building. It's a very organic, round shape. All the tiles are different. If one of them breaks or needs replacing, they have to look at the code on the back of the tile and find the template to remake that tile for its position. It's not one size fits all. We've got this awesome backlighting that comes through. The colors of that will change. And if you look down the stairs there, you can see there's this below the ground level where we are right now is a large open area. And down there they'll have farmers markets. They'll have musical performances, and yeah, it's just a nice public space. There are public pianos in there, so sometimes you'll be walking through and someone will just sit down and play the piano just randomly. We also have proper nouns that are used as verbs here at Dongdaemun. I sold you. There you go. Yeah, we got it all. We've got it all. We got it all. All of this. Beautiful. Got it all. This next part you're about to see is my favorite spot in the building. In that the whole thing just seems to hang over like in an organic fashion, like a wave over this plaza below, and it just seems to defy gravity the way it hangs over like that, don't you think?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, indeed. Okay, guys. Woohoo! Let's head back down the Chungcheon River, back towards downtown Seoul. Maybe, you know what? Maybe let's end the tour at a favorite spot of mine, Nogari Golmok. How about we end there? That'd be a good spot to end. Oh, I see.
Fit for
Okay, I'll have to ride like the wind. We might not make it. We've got a low battery, guys, so stick with me. So let's see if we can make it to Nogarigomo, which is an alleyway which sells dried fish and beer. And if we get there on time, I'll let you buy me a beer and some dried fish. I'll do that for you. Hey, we've got to be a little careful here, heading back to the bike path at the Cheonggyecheon River. You see the Daringi and the Seoul city bikes. Heading across here. Let's go follow them. So the Seoul City Bike is called Daringi. It's a public bike sharing system, and these three ladies here are riding those bikes. And it's really cool. It's a great facility that you can use here in Seoul for the stations all around the city, and you just pay 1,000 won. You can use the bike for up to an hour, and then it'll charge you the next 1,000 won, and so it's then be 2,000 won for 2 hours, etc., etc. And you can buy a yearly membership, which works out a little bit cheaper. You can also rent like 2 or 3 bikes at a time if you've got friends who are with you. And yeah, just a wonderful system that a lot of people do use. And it makes a lot of sense in the city because we have the bike lanes. So there's this question, what comes first, chicken or the egg? You know, what comes first, the bike lanes or the bikes? In Seoul, the answer was the bike lanes come first. Not many people use them. There was a question as to why they were built in the first place. But over time, we've definitely, in my experience, we've definitely seen a massive increase in people cycling in Seoul. And that in itself has caused a few issues because there's definitely more accidents as a result. But generally speaking, motorists are really good with cyclists here in Korea, very patient, and people do follow the rules more or less. And there are these wonderful bike lanes, which most of the time cars are not in, don't use, and most of the time people do not walk in. Although, of course, like anywhere in the world, it happens. All right, so we're leaving the Dongdaemun market area, and we're heading back to the west into Jongro downtown area. And between Dongdaemun market area and the downtown kind of white collar office area is this very blue collar neighborhood that makes and sells tools and electronics and the kind of stuff that you'd need to build a building or a tank or something. You can buy supplies and materials to build, I feel, almost anything in this neighborhood. We could make another pedicab if we wanted to. And this neighborhood, of course, at night closes down, and the shutters come down and it's all shut. Likewise, the blue collar downtown area closes down, the offices close, and people go home, or do they? What we're hopefully going to see is we're going to make it to a neighborhood called Nogarigomo, which is a back alley inside this blue collar shopping area, where we see different land use from the daytime of like construction stores and electronic stores and tiling stores, building materials. At nighttime, those same businesses open their doors to people who want to have a beer and some dried fish. And so a lot of those white-collar workers will come from the financial district and hang out here in the streets, drinking beer and eating dried fish. Hopefully we'll make it there. Okay, here we go. So it looks like I'm breaking the law here, but I'm not, because we're allowed to cross with the pedestrian crossing. And what happens here on Cheonggyecheon River is that the bike lane is on the left-hand side of the road. And of course, here in Korea, everyone drives on the right. And it causes all kinds of confusion, one of which is that when the pedestrian crosswalk says you can cross, which means I can go as a cyclist, it's not clear from the left-hand side of the road. But yeah, it's okay for me to go, don't worry. Of course, the reason the bike lane's on the left here is to so we can get this great view of the Cheonggyecheon River beneath us, and because there's so much industry and activity going on my right-hand side during the daytime. You know, cars stopping, taxis coming in and out, and they just wanted to get the bike lane away from all of that into a nice expressway, which we have right here. Yay, all right. So this neighborhood is changing rapidly. If you look to the left, you can see this construction going on. It used to be this small, the scenery that you saw earlier, the small, low-rise, 1 to 2 story buildings that would sell, you know, tools and materials for building. And those businesses are slowly moving out of this area, and we're getting these larger buildings, larger constructions being built here. I don't know what that will be used for, but it looks like it might be apartments or offices of some kind, which is kind of unusual for this neighborhood. Here we are again, we're on green, so we can go. And actually we're almost there at Nogari Golmo. 안녕하세요. So you would never guess that behind these buildings here, there's a party going on right now. We're gonna go join it. So behind these buildings, you'll see where people are hanging out. It's nice and peaceful here by the Cheonggyecheon River. All the shops are closed for the evening. We're gonna go across this bridge here called Supergirl. Supergirl is a wooden bridge across the Cheonggyecheon River. And it's the only wooden bridge that I'm aware of. And it's very historic bridge. Very beautiful bridge. And it's also the name of one of the establishments, one of the pubs, well, the pub that started this whole street culture here in this alley called that became known as Nogari Golmo. Now, during pre-corona times, we'd already be in the thick of the crowd right now. We already wouldn't be able to ride the way that we're riding. There'd be so many people in the streets. All of these tables would be out on the streets there like that. But right now it's a lot quieter because people have been a little bit more cautious. So here's Supergirl the Bar, that's the pub that started it all. You can see there are a fair amount of people hanging out there. As I said, back in the day, this whole street would have been covered in tables and plastic chairs, and everybody would have been drinking and hanging out here, as you can see them doing inside the places at the moment. But as soon as we take this corner, this is fast becoming the heart of the neighborhood. We made it. Our battery survived. Okay guys, like I promised, I can let you guys buy me a drink and some fish. Actually, it looks like fried chicken over here.
I can't.
It's okay, I take soju as well. Soju's fine. You see here, if you look into the background, you see this is actually an industrial working building, but out the front, they're selling beers and hanging out, drinking. Coming around the corner here, you see this establishment on the left-hand side. It sells tiles during the day. You can see all the tiles on the wall, deco tile. But at night time, of course, it's a bar.
Hey, hello.
Oh, hello. 안녕하세요. So there we go. Nobari Gomuk. We made it. Well, I would like to thank you guys all for joining me and Taeyong here on the evening e-bike tour with WeRide. And I know that our battery is running quite low at the moment. So just in case it cuts out, I wanted to say a big thank you for joining us and let you know a little bit more about our company and when we do these tours. So you can find our virtual tour on Airbnb. You can join us on Airbnb for a virtual tour, this tour or the evening e-bike tour, and possibly many more in the future. Or you can come and join us here in Seoul on a tour, a live tour. You can find our information on. So thank you for making this possible for me and Taeyong. We're going to go back across Supergirl and we'll be heading further west back into the Jongno district. I hope you enjoy the city lights as we go back into the more built-up area of the neighborhood. This is more or less the cutoff point. This is where the financial district kind of stops and the blue-collar district begins. You can see the difference in the height of the buildings here. It's quite a stark border. 지나갑니다. And here we are back in the financial district, like that. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. So this building here, the Hanaha Building, it's like a big Christmas popsicle, isn't it? It's really cool. It's apparently won lots of awards for being very, very environmentally friendly, very, very energy efficient. So it's a bit of a gem in the city. I like it because it's sparkly, mainly. And over here, this dark building is our new Seoul Tourism Organization office. It's based in there. That's just recently been made. Be interesting to see what they've got to offer in there when it opens up after COVID. It's mainly not open because of COVID at the moment.
9%.
Oh, there's a Daringyi station over there. Daringyi is the sounds that a bike makes when you're riding. It almost sounds like the bell of a bike. So that's where the name Darangi comes from. Not most cities do have a city bike share program, but they're not all called Darangi. They all got different names. Darangi is exclusively for Seoul, and they come in various different sizes. So there's the adults one. There's I shouldn't say adults one because I sometimes see grown people riding the children's one, but yeah, they come in various sizes, which is very handy. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's take the road. In the coffee shop. That's a Coffee Bean. There's a Holly's Coffee. I think that's 4 stories of coffee shop right next to each other, followed by another coffee shop here. And just in case there wasn't enough coffee, there's another one just around the corner over here. I believe Korea is the most caffeinated country in the world. The secret behind the Korea's success is coffee fuel. It's either that or soju. There are more coffee shops here than I've ever seen anywhere else in the world. Take a glance down this alley here. It's not particularly busy. The last one was crowded with people. I don't know what was happening. Here's another 3-story coffee shop.
Coffee everywhere.
Coffee everywhere. You love your coffee.
Yeah.
Taeyong loves coffee. I myself am more of a tea person. Like a good cup of tea.
I always think drinking one day, one coffee, and 2 coffees.
One day, one coffee? I don't believe you. One day, 5 coffees?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
I one day almost do 3 coffees.
Wow. Oh,
Really?
that's not too bad, but still, it's a lot. It's 3 more than I have on most days. Yeah, probably. Okay, guys. Who knows? We may be able to, depending on how our battery lasts. I may be able to show you Gwangtong-gyo, which is a really cool bridge that we're ending the tour on, just around the corner. You see it over there?
Yeah.
Gwangtong-gyo was the main bridge over the main river in the capital city of the Joseon dynasty, Hanyang, and it was washed away and flooding in the year 1400. It used to be made out of wood like Supergirl. It was washed away in the year 1400, so they rebuilt it out of stone. And the king who rebuilt the bridge didn't really like his mother-in-law very much, so he got the stones to make this bridge from his mother's tomb. So we're actually walking on tombstones that were used to make this bridge of the royal Queen Shindok, her name was. So follow me, Taeyong, with our final battery and our final goodbye. I'll show you the underside of this bridge, and then I'll say thanks for joining us one more time down at the Cheonghaechon River. The reason I'm showing you the underside of the bridge is because from down there you can clearly see the origins of the stones. They're very decorative, and they don't have any place in the foundations of a bridge. So join me. Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's days like this that make me really happy to be here in Seoul. You know, sometimes there's a lot of pollution and noise, and it gets really cold in the winter and very, very hot in the summer.